Scranton, Wilkes-Barre.
Hey, welcome everybody. I got another Coal Region Rock interview for you guys. I'm on the phone. I've got Gary from Cause of Affliction. How's it going, Gary?
Doing pretty good, Mark. How are you doing, man?
Doing pretty well. Well, hey, I do have to tell everybody it's been a while since I had an actual chat with Gary about the band. I did a Weekender piece. What is it? What did you say, about 7-8 months ago now, Gary, when the record came out? Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been about November, December time frame.
Wow. So the first thing I was actually going to ask you is, since it's been that length of time now since the record came out, looking back on Freedom is a Lie, what are your feelings about the record having that much time passed? Does it hold up for you? Is it as fresh as it was when you guys finished it up?
I would say it does hold up as far as Cause of Affliction in its infancy. Listening to those songs now, there is some really good tracks, and then there's some tracks that really won't, in my opinion, won't really stand up to what we're doing now. I'm proud of the album. I know that all four of us are very proud of the CD. It's our first CD, so, we're proud of it. And there's some really good tunes on there, but just knowing that the type of stuff that we're writing now is totally, and I can't say it's in a totally different direction, but it's just Cause of Affliction redefined.
Right. Well, I was going to say, too, I've seen you guys live a couple times since the record came out, not quite as much as I'd like to have seen you guys, but from what I have seen, if people have not checked out the band live, you guys just deliver a very intense live performance. You've got that the beer keg thing with what you do, which is very cool. And how have your live shows progressed since the very beginning? Do you think they really have that raw edge? Have you continued to work on that?
Well, I would definitely say yes to that. I think every time, since we started as a full band, every time we've been put into a position, say we're opening up for a national band, we had the opportunity to open up for several national bands now, or, when we did the Project Independent thing, which we've done that for 2012 and 2013, every one of those really big shows, it's a bit nerve-wracking, but we focus on realizing, hey, man, we can't mess around. We can't sit back. We need to grow, and we really look at ourselves to say, what can we do more as a live band? Because I had no choice. I grew up on Kiss, and I grew up on 80s hair metal and all that stuff, so performance was everything. Some people may laugh at that, and that's fine, but what I try to do is give people a show. I don't care about just sitting there or standing there singing the songs, because obviously, like it's been said many times before, you could just buy the CD for that.
Right. Yeah, speaking of some of the national bands you've opened for, I know there's been Anvil was one of the more recent ones, and
right.
How have those shows been for you? How have you been treated at some of those bigger shows?
For the most part, really good, especially by the people who were there at the shows as just fans of whatever national band they're going to see. There's been times where we would open up for a national band and maybe the people who are running the show aren't so friendly to work with, but we just keep putting on a happy face and smiling and try to be as humble and as polite as possible. And but as far as like the Anvil show, for instance, that was a great time. The fans were really cool. The guys in Anvil actually watched our show, took photos with us, gave us hugs, and told us how awesome we were and to keep doing what we're doing. And them guys, man, I knew Anvil was kind of like the original thrash metal band that didn't get its just due, but they had been around since the late 60s, or the late 70s, believe it or not. So that's just incredible for them guys to give us that type of props. Mushroom Head, that was an amazing show. We hung out with the guys in Mushroom Head. They were great people. Great show. Queensryche, that took place at Bruce Brothers West in Luzerne. It was packed all the way to the back. You know, you couldn't get another body in that room, and that was definitely one of the big shows that we had where there was a bit of nervousness going on, but we held our own and showed them what COA is all about.
Nice. Yeah, and you guys are still actually on that trend. I know, you know, as we speak this coming weekend, you've got the Def Leppard and Kiss gig at Montage, which should be a very cool thing.
Absolutely. That's huge. That's surreal. That's, like I said earlier, I mean, I had no choice but to listen to Kiss. My dad is a Kiss-aholic, and I grew up on them guys, and it got so bad when I was in my teenage years that I was like, oh my gosh, I hate Kiss. I got to find something else to listen to, and then I got into the darker, heavier stuff like Metallica and went heavier into that from there. But and then I got older and wiser, and I said, you know what? No matter what anybody says about Kiss, Kiss has been around as long as they have for a reason. And they got the makeup and all the theatrics, and that's all great. But at the end of the day, they still have the music that's been going on for 40 years. So just to be able to play the show and opening up for two legendary bands like that is unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a very cool thing. You know, I also wanted to mention, too, Gary, we got the Steamtown Music Awards coming up, which I know you guys have been nominated. I think Amanda has also been nominated for drummer.
Right.
And, I mean, what are your thoughts on that whole thing? You know, the Steamtown Awards, that's kind of a newer thing for Northeast Pennsylvania. It's a very cool recognition kind of our local artists here.
Right. And it is very cool. It's very competitive, but at the same time, the bands that, I mean, we've been around as a full band since the middle of 2012, you know, so we're not a new band, but just the time that we have been on the scene, we've made so many great friendships with so many different bands. So even though this is competitive in a way, you know, because people are casting their votes and whatnot, at the end of the day, it still feels great, and we're cheering each other on. So yeah, I think it's an absolutely great idea, and looking forward to see how it all pans out.
That's great. You know, you also mentioned before the Project Independent Showcase, which I know we've got something locally. I believe you guys are doing that at the Factory in September at some point. Now, I'm not too familiar with the whole Project Underground thing. How exactly does that work? I mean, that's a national tour, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That is correct. That's Project Independent. That's put together by Jeff Totten and Moni Pera. It's a Project Independent, basically a company that goes across the United States trying to find local talent. They've been doing it for this, I believe, is their 11th or 12th year now. And like I said, we did it in 2012. And when we got done, the guy who created Project Independent, Jeff, he basically said, hey guys, you guys got a lot of potential, but I think you're just not ready yet. You seem like a very new band, which we were. We were only a full band, maybe 5 months at the time. And so last year we did it again, and we were the first band to go on. We did our thing, and so after that, they had picked us and another local band as the running for this area, and we come out of 480 bands. We were picked 5th of fan voting and 10th in music industry panel voting. So that's how that went.
Wow, so that's actually very impressive. Then that's great.
Yeah, it's I don't know how it happened, you know.
No, hey, as long as it is happening, that's the important thing.
Yeah. But we got a lot of fans that are, you know, especially in that time, we were just saying, hey guys, vote for us, and they sure the hell did.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, one of the things is, in my time of seeing, you know, like the hard rock metal bands in Northeast Pennsylvania here, you guys, I know a lot of times the turnout is somewhat a little bit on the disappointing side, but what you do get out there, I see a lot of the same faces time after time, which is a really good sign. You know, you guys, there's the diehards that do come out. And I wanted to ask you, you know, compare the local stuff to, you know, say going to doing a show in Virginia or something like that. How's that been?
The local stuff, it's very hit or miss, and it's honestly, it's kind of half and half on fault. It's half our fault if we're playing too much locally, because I'll tell you right now, I don't care if it's my favorite band in the world, I'm not going to go see them 4 times in a month. So that's part of it. The other part is, you know, when you go to play an out-of-area show, you really feel like, oh, wow, you know, I'm playing a completely different people. I don't know a single face in this crowd. We got to show them who we are. And that's not to say when we're at a local show that we take a step back and just kind of chill out, but at the same time, we know that we got to make sure that everybody knows who we are, basically. If that makes any sense. I don't know if I got my point across correctly, but
no, that makes a lot of sense. That's for sure. Yeah. So what's kind of the next step for you guys, Gary, after the summer here? I know a lot of bands, you know, heading into the fall, they kind of hang back on the live dates. Will that be the case with you guys, or do you have any sort of you know, framework for the winter?
Actually, what we have coming up is actually a little bit of the opposite. We were pretty lackadaisy the summer this time, and then come August, it really speeds up. We got some local shows, but there's a lot of out-of-area shows we also have planned as well, whether it be Ohio or Virginia, Jersey, New York. We have a lot of, you know, just trying to get out of the area, give the fans locally a chance to, you know, get amped up for the next COA show, and just reaching out to more people, you know. So we have August all the way to, I want to say the beginning of November is pretty jam-packed. We got a lot going on in those few months.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's the one, you know, amazing thing about all of you guys in this area. You persevere, you know what I mean, and that's really an amazing thing to see. I understand you were mentioning some newer stuff. Are you guys, you know, actively working on new music?
All the time. We just released a new song, what was it, last Saturday at Lyrics in Carbondale. We're writing a new song right now that I always joke around with the guys in the band, but I say it's like salami on steroids. You know, the song Salami. It's so crazy heavy and sludgy. So we're constantly, and it's funny because this band has gotten a little bit of a reputation to be the band that does not play cover songs. And that's not to say that we are against playing cover songs. It's just that every time we get to rehearsing or practicing, instead of learning a cover song or whatever, we just want to write a new song.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's great. So we'll definitely look forward to new stuff from you guys in the future.
Absolutely.
Well, so kind of in wrapping up with you, Gary, what do you want people to know going forward from Cause of Affliction? I mean, obviously you guys have been, you know, one of the more consistently aggressive bands in this area. I mean, you know, just any message for people going forward at this point?
I would just say anybody who's listening in or will wind up listening in, to just realize that Cause of Affliction isn't going anywhere. We're there to give you guys a crazy, awesome, good time, a good time at a rock and metal show. We're not stopping. We have no plans on quitting. We are very strong as a family within the band. It's definitely much a marriage. We get along very well. We're brothers and sister, of course, and, you know, there's no stopping COA. We're going to keep going, and if we I mean, one or two things are going to happen. You know, we're going to either just take off until we get to where we want to be, or we're going to bust our ass trying and then look back on our life and say, you know what, we may have not gone anywhere, but we gave it our all. So one way or the other, we're winners.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you guys a band that you're kind of looking out for that eventual deal, or, you know, are you guys a band that says, well, you know, if that happens, that's cool. If it doesn't, we're going to keep doing our own thing. You know, what is your standpoint on that?
I would say for me personally, I got stars in my eyes. I'm not looking for necessarily a deal, because nowadays that doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot. I'm looking for more and more and more people to show up to our shows, and bigger and bigger and bigger opportunities playing for, like, we got this Kiss and Def Leppard thing coming up.
Well, hey, it's been a fun ride this far, Gary, and I know it's obviously going to continue. So there you go, everybody. Gary, Cause of Affliction. I'm going to include a link to the Facebook page very close to this interview link. And Gary, we'll see you out there at some point.
All right, Mark. Yes, you will, sir.